bore you with numbers. Then we'll do our second team building, it'll actually be teams. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna go into letting Vanessa, she has a lot of information to talk about on food safety and food and kitchen training. Rich.
Well, we can hear you though. So.
Yeah. And then Rich has a presentation, and I wanna give most of the time to those guys. So just real quick, kind of where we are for the first half of the year. This is gallons, daily sales, inside sales, total sales, daily gross profit, chicken margin, which is extremely important, inside gross profit, and total gross profit. These numbers are versus last year. So if you're in the green, you're performing ahead of last year. If you're in the red, we got some work to do the rest of the year. 201 is killing it. I'm gonna go through the numbers, and I'm gonna tell you why some stores are doing really well and some stores are not performing the way they should be. Some of it is on us, some of it is changing market, some of it is the economy. So I kind of want to give everybody, if you're seeing yourself in all red, don't think that it's all you. There are certain stores that have changed over the past year, and I'll get into that. 201, this is through June, positive across the board. Jessica's killing it right now. 6% up on gallons, 34% up on daily sales, inside sales 20, total inside sales, that's everything included, lottery, chicken, deli, everything up 23%. Daily gross profit dollars, her dollars made by her deli are at 48% this year over last year. So, excellent. Chicken margin is, for the year, is 67.71. Very strong. Inside gross profit is up 15%, and total gross profit for the store is up 35% over last year. So that is a huge win, Jessica. Really 202, and kind of one thing I want everybody to notice, and this is more of an attribute to the stores, our stores, and our company. I don't know how many of you guys go in Circle K and Tom Thumb and the Independents. If you don't go into them at least once or twice a week, once or twice a month, just to look at them, you need to be doing that. Because when you go into our stores and you see full coolers and candy bars that are in stock and chips that are in stock, you should go take a look at that Valero up the road from you. Just walk in there, it's sad. When you walk into the Valero up the road from 207, entire doors of their cooler are empty. Not one bottle of water, not one soda. You look at their salty section, their chips, no chips. Our stores are head and shoulders above where our competition is. So one thing I want you guys to notice, 202 is down in gallons. Gross profits up, total inside sales are up, total daily profits up, daily sales are up. So even though we're not selling gas the way we did last year because of obvious reasons, it being $5 a gallon still in Key West, we're still selling chicken, and we're selling beer, and we're selling cigarettes, and we're selling coffee and sodas. That is because of how we run our stores. We keep them full, we keep them clean. I know Ashley, you should go into some of the big daddy competitors that we deal with and just look at what's acceptable now for Circle K and what's acceptable for Tom Thumb. The Circle K up here at the end of town used to be their show place. I've been coming down to the Keys for about 6 years with my previous job and this one. That store was always immaculate. You would have, when it came time to put up new PLT, new signage and everything for their promos, every other store up and down from here to Homestead would be shot. They would have 3 district managers putting up signs in the windows of that store just to make sure it looked good. Same thing with the one up in Key Largo right before you get on the stretch. Go look at those stores now. These stores here in town are what Circle K is accepting now. They're also closing early. They're opening late. They've ended their 24-hour operations. That goes with all of our competition. Tom Thumb has ended all of their 24-hour operations. Once we got 202 back open, we never closed early because since we went back to 24 hours. 205 is another store, doing great, green across the board. James, green across the board. 212, Nick, while Sandy was out, Nick, some of you guys have met him, did an awesome job. He kept the store running. He was very communicative with myself and Rich, keeping us informed of what was going on. And as you can see, Sandy being out, that store continues to grow. It produces across the board. That's incorrect on her chicken margin. That should be 60.
I think that's also a testament to how Sandy trains her
People, yeah.
So, well done.
Yeah, Sandy, everybody in Sandy's store, and this is something that I hope we all get to one day. Every person in Sandy's store has a job. Frederica may do invoicing. Nick may be really good with the vendors. Somebody else does really good ordering. Somebody else does really good making sure the cooler keeps stocked. That's what we need to shoot for in all of our stores is, you may hate going in the cooler, so you've gotta find that person that can be the #1 cooler guy in the company. He can fry chicken, he can run a register, but half of his shift is in the cooler. You walk up, you go, hey, you know what? I like to run the register, I'm gonna run the register for 3 hours while you go stock the cooler, because I despise going in the cooler. I'm good with that. That's what you want. When I was with Pilot Travel Centers, I kept $500,000 worth of cigarettes in stock at all times. It was a 12-hour shift to count cigarettes, and we counted cigarettes every single day, every single pack, every single day. I went and found a person that, like, sitting in, I had a room about half this size, it was full of cigarettes. She came in at 8 o'clock, she shut the door. 4 o'clock, she walked out, she had my cigarette count done, never had to worry about it. So as we hopefully come out of this hiring crunch and people realize they need to have a job again, as we get more selective, start looking for those people that, hey, what do you do besides stand at a register? Oh, I love stocking the cooler. Great, you're hired. You're my cooler person. You're my cigarette stocking person. You're my McLean truck putting that person. Some people love putting up trucks. So start looking at that. Sandy has that in our store. One of the things I don't have this year is, or at this point, are turnover reports. Sandy has all that extra, she puts all that extra responsibility on her people. She also has probably the lowest turnover in the company. So don't think that, don't think that you're gonna scare somebody off by saying, you know what, you gotta stock the cooler with her here. She does that, she loses one person a year, 2 people a year. That kind of, I would be picking Sandy's brain all the time if I was in need of help. What you're doing to find, but she's got a stack of applications at her store as well. People wanting to come work for her. So pick her brain, call her, say, hey, what are you doing to get applications? I can't get anybody. 8 of our 11 stores were in that situation, so she's doing something to get applications. So, you know, so for the year, we're down 6% gallons, which is never good. But if you look at total inside sales, we're up 8%. So there again, as a company, we're still selling our inside stuff. They're still coming to us. It's just, they're not traveling as much. So kind of what I want to talk about 203 and 204, because we have new store managers there, and to kind of give the new people some backstory. All last year, 204, which sits right outside, that's Big Common, sits right outside of Key West. It's the last store you can stop at before you get into Key West. All last year, that store was 30 cents cheaper a gallon on gas than Key West. And it's literally 4 miles from Key West. So we were getting a constant flow of traffic of people driving down the Keys, filling up their tank one more time before they got into Key West, because they could save 30 cents a gallon. This year, that's not the case. The market changed. We're now priced even with Key West. So there's no incentive to stop just to buy gas, just to save 30 cents a gallon. And we're still selling gas, and we're still selling it, and we're selling the groceries, but that big push is not there to stop at Key West to save 30 cents a gallon. So that's what's hurting her. I mean, even to be down 6%, that store's making 37. She was down, oh, and by the way, last year, April, May, June, and half of July, Circle K was closed down across the street. They had pump issues, they couldn't get fuel, they were pretty much out of business for 4 months out of the year. So now, Circle K's open across the street, the gas market has changed, the pricing has changed, so it's hurting the store. But here again, down 37% gallons, only down 1.5 in deli sales. We're still selling chicken, we're still selling beer and cigarettes, it's just the gallons on it. This is the big deal for me, is if we're down 5% gallons and we're up 27% in deli sales, we're doing something right. We're still drawing the people in. If this was all red, we'd be having a different conversation. But you guys are still getting your customers to come into the store. 216, down 8% in gallons, up 33% in deli sales. That's huge for that store. That store is probably one of the more challenged stores for deli sales. That's one that needs focus. But to be up that amount in deli sales over last year, being down in gallons, that's a huge attribute for that store. All told, we're up 20% in gross profit dollars, so that's putting money in Steve's pocket money. That's what counts. That's what we spend to give raises. That's what we spend to upgrade stores, hire more staff, show more improvements in the facilities that we have. So this is just what kind of I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. You guys can see it. You've seen it before. If you have any questions, let me know. 204, well, I don't want to think about 203, kind of the same issue as 204. Last year, 203 was in line with Marathon, and then further up the Key, kind of breaks down the way we look at it is, you got Key West prices off of Circle K because Circle K is the dominant name in that part of the island. Then you get to Big Pine, Marathon, and up toward Layton, it's Tom Thumb and us. So we key off of Tom Thumb. Then as you get up into Alamorada, Key Largo, and then up into Homestead, it goes back to Circle K. Circle K right now is using Key West to get margin. That's why it's still at $4.47 or whatever it is right now. It's all about margin for them. They don't care how many gallons they're selling. They're making $1.50 a gallon. That's what they want. As you go up to Key Largo, they're at $3.27, $3.39. They're pushing for gallons up there, so that it's the opposite. They're not making money, but they're selling a boatload of gallons. So if you go up the islands, you've got $1.50 in difference in price, or $1.25 in difference. At 203, because 203 got sucked into the Key West pricing because of the Shell and the Tom Thumbs and the Circle K's, 203 is 26 miles from 201. 2 weeks ago, there was $1.13 difference between the price at 203 and 201. So nobody was stopping at 203 buying gas. They're all coming up to 201. Now that 207's open, they're coming up to 207. So we've made adjustments here. She's down, 203 is down for the year. She's probably gonna be right at flat or even positive this month. So just trying to get the prices closer together. Nobody's gonna stop at 203 and spend $1 plus more a gallon if they can come 15 minutes up the road and get it cheaper. So these middle stores, same thing kind of with 210 to an extent, is the price, just like with cigarettes and beer, gas pricing has been off so bad all year long. It's like we're chasing our tails, trying to stay competitive, trying to stay margin-wise where we're making money, but we're selling gallons. I'll probably have 3 calls a week with Mike or Steve talking about, let's drop it from 322. The other day I was on a call with Mike, and my wife said, what does 222 mean? Because I must have said 322 and 222 100 times on the call. That means we price 2 cents over, 2 cents over, 2 cents over. The constant discussions on margins, and they're gonna continue because the market is still kind of volatile, and it looks like it's gonna be that way for a while. So this is where you are. If you have any questions, get with me, we'll go over it. I have the printed reports, we can sit down and talk about them. But all in all, more green than red, so the kind of economy and market we're in right now, we'll take that. Next big thing, mystery shop stores. I think everybody here give themselves a round of applause because after 6 months, we're at a 95.01. That's huge for ExxonMobil. 2 years ago, we were the worst mystery shop performing chain in Florida that Jonathan had our ExxonMobil rep. He has 11 chains. We were the worst of the worst. Now we're number one. Being at 95, getting a 95 on a mystery shop from ExxonMobil is huge. Once having all these shops and averaging a 95, that's awesome. That doesn't happen. I've never finished a year. I've had ExxonMobils for probably 12 years. I think maybe twice I finished a year with a 95 average. What makes it even harder for us, we get shopped monthly. Most places get shopped quarterly. So we get 3 chances a quarter to mess up, to get caught on a bad day. You can see all the 100s, we are already ahead of last year for 100s at this point. I think we've got 4 more 100s this year after 6 months than we did last year. We're well ahead of where we were. I think we're at like 94.2 last year. But we had 3 months where we averaged over 95. 95 is big because if we're 94.9, we get, ExxonMobil gives us money to put back into the sites. If we're 94.9, we may get $1. If we're at 95.00001, we get $5. So it makes a big difference in how much support we get from ExxonMobil. It also helps us in standing with ExxonMobil to be at 95. If we're at 95 and we want something and somebody else wants it, they're at 85, we're gonna get it. So this is huge. This should be a huge point of pride for everybody in this room, especially with staffing. One of the questions I get asked all the time is, you have all these staffing issues, you can't get people to work, you're shorthanded, every store's missing 4 or 5 people, your out of stocks are horrible because Coke can't get Coke, and yet we can pull off a 95.01 for 6 months. That's 100% of the people in this room. So, thank you guys, that makes my job easy when I have meetings with ExxonMobil to say, oh yeah, hey, we're Dion's and we're at a 95 for the year. How many people do you have at a 95? Huge deal. You guys don't know how much that means. We've also got, all these stores have, we got 6 stores out of 9 that have 95 or better for the year. 209 got fouled up by a receipt they didn't print, or they got 100 again this month. So they're 6 of 7 with 100s for the year. And the only thing they didn't get was the receipt jammed up and didn't print for the shop in June. Everything else was perfect for the entire year, day in, day out, guys. And this is important to me for Exxon. This is what we give our customers every day. So that's why we're still selling chicken, and we're still selling beer, and we're still selling cigarettes, even though we may not be selling gas. They're coming in for the clean restrooms, the good customer service, in stocks, all the stuff on that shop. Those things should be exemplified every day, and we're doing it. So again, I could go on for hours about this because it's such a huge deal. But look, we've got stores that are all these 95 pluses, 212 every month, 210. 210, how many of you, everybody's been in 210, right? Mm-hmm. We know that it's a show place, top of the line, just palace of a store that is just, impeccable everything. She's averaging 95.17 and 210. That's like, I'm sorry, but that's like averaging 95 in an outhouse. Right. So that's why Kendra's at 207. Now you have to average 100 at 207 because you've literally gone from the outhouse to the penthouse. So guys, again, I'm gonna stop because I'll go on forever. But again, this should be a huge mark of pride for everybody in this room to be a part of this. And ExxonMobil, I met with John. We have a new ExxonMobil guy. Met with Jonathan 3 weeks ago. And he said, I wouldn't have told you this 2 years ago, but if I had 10 more Deons to put in my place, I wouldn't have to do my job, because every chain that I have would be perfect. We're killing it, so, and they recognize that, so for ExxonMobil to recognize us, and FTMA to recognize us as a company that's doing the right things, that's huge, and again, that's all you guys, I don't do any of it. So, that's that, Mark Pride. Daily budget summaries, I wanna go over these, we got a lot of people that know how to do them, we got a lot of people that don't, I'm gonna take like 5 minutes to do it, and then I'm done. Everybody has a daily budget summaries, right? We're filling them out halfway. I'm gonna get with each of you, I'm gonna be on vacation next week. When I get back, I wanna get with each of you individually, because some of them aren't showing up on the daily budget summary, or on the shared drive, and some of them aren't saving correctly, so we gotta figure that out. Why do I have to fill it out? How do I use it? And why do I have to save it on the shared drive? So I went back and pulled, it's kinda hard to see. So basically you have each, and we'll go over each section real quick. Current, every day when you gotta fill this out every day when you do your paperwork, it takes like 2 seconds, and then you save it back to the shared drive. Once you save it to the shared drive the first time, it's save and close, it automatically saves right back where it was. So, this is from 203, and these numbers I've jacked with a little bit just to show what happens. So, first thing you gotta do, so this will say 1, when you start on September tomorrow, or day after tomorrow, it's gonna be on 1. You have to change that every day, so if we just put in the 16th, change that number to 16. If you guys, a lot of you guys are saying you're getting the tic-tac-toe boards in all of your deals, but and you think it's an error, it's because this is a 1, and you put in 16 days, these sales aren't big enough to show that you're $150,000 over in sales. So if you change that date, those tic-tac-toe boards will go away and it will show you. So why is this important? Everybody here, your bonuses start out with, you have to make your sales budget. Okay, everybody in here. This tells you whether or not you're making your sales budget. You can look literally every day and see where you are as to budget. So what you have here, this is current, so this is a running total. So as you put these days in, this current number will change. So like on day 1, she didn't have any pre-packed daily to go sales. That would be blank. Now we have $74, so that's there. This projected button, or the projected line, is, there's 31 days in August. So we have put in 16 days, and you pumped 39,657 gallons. Projecting that out, just by taking the number of gallons, divided by the number of days, and multiplying by 31, 203 should pump about 77,000 gallons in gases, okay? Each department is broken down so that you can see. So everybody focuses on chicken, it's kind of what we're known for. So after 16 days, 203 has sold $15,126 in chicken. She's projected to do $29,300, which is $6,700 below budget. So with 15 days left to go, she's gotta sell all the chicken that she's already budgeted to make, plus she's gotta make up $6,700. So what you can do is that you can do this early on and every day. All you have to do is, so the basic's your budget. So if you hit basic, you've made your sales budget. That's what that means. So there's 31 days in August. So she's gotta do $36,000 to make budget in chicken. Divide that by 31, that's your average daily sales. So say your average daily sales is $1,100. You pull that up, you know that ahead of time, you got all the months on here for the rest of the year. First of the month, you look, your budget's $1,100, you get $900 in chicken. So you need to make up $200 for that day. The easiest way to do that, you got 30 days left, divide 200 by 30. So tomorrow you need to do it, and every day going forward, you need to do $1,003 or $1,103 every single day for the rest of the month to make up that $200. So at this point, $3,600, so she's gotta do $1,100 a day to make that $3,600. Now she needs to make up $6,700 in 15 days. So you would divide 6,700 by 15. James, it looks like are you doing that for me, James? So 6,700 divided by 15, how much is that? He was missing, I thought he was already had me doing the math.
6,700.
Yep, divided by 15 days.
446.
So for the rest of the year, rest of the month, she needs to do $1,600 a day in chicken. And every day she doesn't do that, you fall farther behind, and you fall farther behind. Now, if you do $2,000 in chicken tomorrow, then you refigure it, you may have to do $10 less a day in chicken. But this will tell you throughout the entire month where you are in budget. And that's the first part of hitting your bonus. Yes?
Well, I'm just going to Jamie, that once you figure out your daily average, what you need to do too, it's 5%, right? You have to least 5% of your budget in order to make bonus, correct?
No, that's just basic. If you hit basic, that's already built in here. If you hit basic, you've hit your sales budget.
Okay, which is basically 5%.
If you hit 5%, then you've hit outstanding.
Outstanding.
So that's the second part of it.
All right, so what I want to say was that once you get your daily, like my daily goal is 1,500, then we have to make sure our staff knows this too.
Yeah.
So they can push what we're looking for. So if my daily goal in chicken is 1,500, then my staff needs to be making sure the case is full.
Yeah. That's exactly the next point. If you look at this and you see that you're down in chicken, then, especially if you're up in cold bev, you're pretty flat on hot bev, you're performing better in fast food than you are chicken. Is your case full at lunchtime? Is your case full at dinner? What time are you closing the kitchen? Are we dropping chicken at 6:30 at night to sell for that late rush that comes in after fantasy or after the bars close or whatever? This is a tool more so to help you hit your budget, but it also tells you that something's going on in chicken. Beer, you're almost flat. Grocery, you're over in grocery. So why are we down in chicken and fast food? You don't have to worry about beer because the beer's stocked and the beer's selling. You don't have to worry about grocery because you're 20% up in grocery. Your time needs to be spent in the deli looking at, am I full when we open? Am I full at lunch? Am I full at dinner? Are we producing, you're down in fast food, do we have the full gamut of fast food? Do we have gizzards? Do we have livers? There's so much, this will really direct you where you need to go. And look at your operations. And the reason you have to save it on the shared drive, if you save it to your laptop, I can't see it, Rich and Vanessa can't see it. So for this store, when I look at this and I plan my week, and I'm gonna come see you on Monday, and Rich is gonna come see you on Tuesday. Sometime Sunday or before I get to your store, I'm gonna look at this and see where I need to look. When I look at your beer, yeah, you're down a little bit. I'll look at your beer. We'll look at cigarettes. I'm not gonna look at Fountain. I'm not gonna look at your Frazzle, because you're up 20%. Pre-packed deli to go, we know about that because your case was down for 11 days. So when the executive team is planning out their week and I'm going, okay, I've got an hour and a half with you if I'm lucky because you're gonna be on the register, you're gonna be doing this, that. Where does my focus need to go? Rich may look at this and go, you know what? I'm not really gonna look at beers, 3.5% down. Okay, I'm gonna look at chicken, and I may wanna look at cold beef because you're up 19% and you're down 15%. So what are we doing here to be up 19% that I can take to Jessica or that I can take to Kelly and show them, hey, you know what, let's try this, let's put the cuts here, let's, whatever. So having this on the shared drive and letting us see this helps me plan my day. Rich, Vanessa, instead of us going in going, okay, real quick, let me go look at your back office computer when you're trying to finish up, and then we're trying to, on the fly, come up with our plan. We go into James's store, and if you look at James, he's and the same thing with Jessica, they're up 20% across the board. We would look at, okay, you're up 20% across the board, but you're up 35% in beer. let's look at your beer displays, let's look at what, are they putting signs up at your store that they're not putting up at your stores? Do we have different displays built? It allows so much more to be pointed. None of us have unlimited time in the day. None of us have unlimited hours. We're all busy. That 45 minutes or that hour or 2 hours that the three of us get to spend with you, it needs to be as impactful as possible. And this is one of the tools that we can use, good and bad, to look at and to plan our day. It's also something that, if I'm in your store and I go, man, you're doing really good in this, somebody may hear that and call you and say, hey, what did you do, what are you doing with your frazzle? Your frazzle's up 20%, I can't get my frazzle up for nothing. It may be something as simple as the customers, or I clean them once a week, or we have the flavors we're supposed to have, whatever. So again, it's a way to talk to each other and improve as a company our communication, just like with the mystery shops. What does 209 do to score 7 100s out of a year? What can we translate from there to a store that didn't necessarily score 7 100s? Is it customer service? Is it somebody has a pump cleaning program that they're using? I know Sandy is all the time outside on her lot. Very rarely will you find any trash on her lot. So what do you do to keep your lot clean? I can't keep your lot's horrible. The way the wind blows, every piece of trash in Summerlin ends up on your lot. Maybe you call Sandy and say, how do you keep your lot clean? What can I do? Can I move garbage cans if they blow up against the garbage can? Is the dumpster in the wrong place because it all funnels back into that corner? These tools are out there for you guys to use and communicate with each other and get us all to all greens and all 95s and all making bonuses. I want you guys to make your bonus every quarter. That money's there, take it. Don't leave any on the table. That's what we're here for. I love all of you, but if all my bills were paid, I would be fishing right now. So I want you guys to be in that same position. Make your bonuses. Use these tools that are given to you. If you get back to your store, and this is a very quick, down and dirty explanation, I will sit down and go over this with you every day. If it's from figuring out what your daily projection needs to be, to ideas, to anything that I can help you to improve your performance on, so you guys can take home your bonuses. Don't be afraid to ask me to sit down and do it. We'll schedule a time at the office. I'll come to the store, however you want to do it. Richmond is the same way. If you guys make bonus, we make bonus. If you guys don't make bonus, we don't make bonus. It's all the same. We all follow the same policy. So don't think you guys making bonus in some way takes away from the company performance. If you're making bonus, we're hitting these numbers. We're up 20%. We're at 95 on our shops. The company will be okay. Take the money. So does everybody kind of understand how to fill it out? You just take it straight off your DQM. It's the same numbers. Everything's the same. You just transfer them over. I didn't get the full side, the lotto side. One thing one of the things I did get it. This PP other, that's those Blackstone machines, those red machines that most of you have. You have a budget for them. You have to sell those. That's part of your budget. So right now, your budget's $500. So at 203, she needs to be selling $500 a month in Blackstone to make her budget. Now, she's not sold any. Is the machine broken? Do we have cards? Do we know what it is? I didn't know what a Blackstone machine. I hadn't seen one of those machines. We had them in truck stops like back in 2001. Was the last time I saw one of those. Apparently that we do good money on them down here. So as you're looking, $500 isn't much. But if you don't do this $500, you got to make it up somewhere over here.
But isn't that over on this side? We don't really.
James. Shh. You gotta do $500 in it, so, but no, you have, just like your lottery budget, if you look on over, you have a lottery budget. If you're not selling lottery the way you don't want, you need to, that's one of the, earlier this year, all the cases were empty. But they had issues with lottery, they couldn't get us tickets, just like everything else, how you run out of lottery tickets, I know that. But we weren't getting our full shipments of lottery tickets, so we had empty cases. And there were some other things going on. So as you look, you may never make your grocery budget. but you may sell the hell out of chicken. As long as this number matches and is positive, these numbers go in together to make this. So you may not be a cigarette store, but you're gonna be a beer store, and you're gonna be a chicken store, and you're gonna be a fast food store. That's the big number, that's the number you wanna hit, is your basic projected total inside. How you get there, there's 10 different ways to get there, or 11 now, 11 ways out. To get there on 11 stores. Not everybody's the same, not everybody has the same demographics. But as long as you hit that number, you've done what you're supposed to do. And I think that's all I have. I will say that I've seen everybody else's PowerPoint production. I'm not doing PowerPoints anymore. Mine looks like something third grader did. We've got dancing chickens and noise and all kinds of stuff. Anybody have any questions? Year end will come up in a few months. We should get July numbers hopefully this week, next week. So we'll kind of see how we do once the gas prices have started to come down, what kind of effect that's gonna have on us. So far it's positive. We've got some stores that are gonna turn positive this month for the first time in about 3 months on gas gallons. So I expect these sales numbers to kind of go the same way. We should start seeing more people. So next we are going to go to either Vanessa or Rich. I think you said you're going to. Oh, yeah, we're gonna do team building. Okay. So with the great, we got one more team building thing until this